Bestie, stop sending your friends 10-minute voice memos about how you want to shed a few pounds and just get out there and do it. Wait, am I projecting? Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 changes I made to lose 10 pounds. This was my first time ever going into a calorie deficit. Before we even get into the tips, you do need to already have determined your calorie deficit. What I did was just that I downloaded a food tracking app. The one I use is Chronometer. This is not sponsored. And it asked me a bunch of questions about my current weight, my age, what's my goal weight, and stuff like that. I answered those questions, and then it took and created like a general guideline of, calories, etc. for me. And I decided to just go with that. If you want something that's a little bit more involved, this is a perfect opportunity, of course, for you to work with a coach or nutritionist or something like that. Putting that to the side, make sure you know what your calorie deficit is. Once you know that, now let's go ahead and get into the 5 tips. Right, so tip number 1 is going to be honest about your calories. This is going to be the first thing that you really need to focus on. I know for me in the past, there have been so many times when I've said, I'm going to go into a calorie deficit or I want to lose some weight. And I've decided, well, I just need to cut out all the bad food. Not about good or bad foods. It's about literally what those foods, how much it is, how many calories are there, how many calories are you consuming versus burning. All of that stuff that is coming into calorie deficit. Let's have the definition of calorie deficit come up on the screen here. So you want to be honest about your calories. You want to start looking at the serving sizes. You want to start seeing like your proportions. Like take some time, even when you learn what your calorie deficit is, maybe even take some time to see on a regular day, how many calories are you typically consuming? What is your breakfast? How many calories is that? Your lunch, your snacks, how much is that? And kind of see, okay, this is where I am now. How far away am I from this deficit? And like be honest about it. Don't say like, oh, I'm just gonna only count on the day where I just have a salad. Let's only count the day like when I had no snacks. No, what is your typical day? Be honest about your calories. We need to see what's going on there. And furthering enhancing our honesty, number 2 tip is going to be to use a scale. Now I know you're like, Megan, a scale, ew, like you're doing a lot. Listen, I felt the same way. I've seen so many YouTube videos that say like how to be in a calorie deficit or how to lose weight without counting calories. I'm not saying that a scale is the only way. I will say that for me, when I started to incorporate the use of a scale, it has helped me tremendously. I emphasize enough how wrong I was when it came to determining what a portion or a serving size is based on how it looks or how hungry I felt or how full I felt. I am way off, and getting a scale has been so helpful. So for most foods, when you look on the back of the nutrition, it's going to tell you what a serving size is. It could be in grams, milliliters, ounces, or if it's something as simple as like maybe chips or something, it might even say like 5 chips or 5 cookies is a serving size. For those kind of ones that you can count out, 5 cookies is a serving size. Perfect, no scale needed. But for other things, when it's saying like a serving size of this granola is 30 grams, do you know what 30 grams is? I personally don't. And if you do, congratulations, you paid attention in school. You're amazing. I don't have that same skills. I don't know what 30 grams is. I can just imagine, I can just assume. I was always off. So it just so happened that I already had a food scale. My boyfriend has one, and so I have just been using his, and it has been game-changing. I'm able to see what 30 grams is. There are so many things that I measure. Again, I am just so off. Whether it's rice, serving size of rice, what they say is a serving size versus what I think in my heart is a serving size of rice. No, we're not even close. So, yeah, you may think that, oh, I'm just doing this handful of this, or I'm just doing 1 scoop of this. Surely it's enough. You can be overeating or undereating, and that could be harming your deficit. You may not actually be in a deficit. And so I'm not saying that you have to be crazy and carry around your scale everywhere. No, but in the beginning, at least, it can be so helpful to help you I kind of know what 30 grams of my granola look like. It's probably going to be either 28, it might be like 34, but I know. Same with my egg whites. When I pour out the egg whites into the pan, I know what I'm roughly close to, but I'm never as close as what I think. I think 92 grams is something, and that ends up being 115. Again, it's not the end of the world, but now I can accurately know, okay, you ate a little bit more than you thought you did on this. Same with vegetables. I thought that a serving size of vegetables, it's like 3 little broccoli florets. No, it's more than that. And so then that's great because you could be significantly under eating and you just didn't know because you didn't weigh it out or you didn't pay attention to the serving size. So if you feel like you're kind of in the same boat as me, I highly, highly recommend using a scale. It is to your advantage. It is not to hurt you or harm you. It's just that if you want to be accurate about this and get to it, then that's going to be the best way to help you kind of really narrow down and pinpoint how much am I eating of something in a day. Tip number 3 is going to be change your mindset. I've probably already scared you away in the first tips. We're talking about being honest with our calories. We're talking about using a scale. She's crazy. No, change your mindset because I tell you, I thought the same thing. Calorie counting and being in a deficit, like, ew, these people are crazy. You're doing a lot. No, it has been so helpful because I'm thinking I'm in control. I want to know what it is I'm consuming and how that's going to help me reach my goals. And when I'm just pretending and imagining and just assuming things, I'm putting the goalpost further and further away, or I'm pushing myself back. I'm taking all these steps back and I want to move forward. That's why this is the only time in my 3.5, 4 years of my fitness journey that I've actually ever been able to see significant changes in my physique because I've actually been able to be accurate and be honest about what it is I'm consuming and the habits that go beyond that. When I think of my calorie deficit, it's like a budget. Like you get to choose what you want to spend your calories, your money on, right? So, okay, think of this example. So let's say you have eating your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and you have like 250 calories left to fulfill in your calorie budget, calorie deficit, right? And you have two options. You have this snickerdoodle from Tiff's Trees, and it's like 150 calories. And then over here, you have this Greek yogurt and some granola. And over here, what is that? That's going to be around like 250 calories, pretty much. You're about to sit and watch the newest part 2 of Bridgerton, and you want to have a little snacky snack because you got some room. So we can have this cookie here, this Tiff's Treats Snickerdoodle for 150 calories. Or we can have some Greek yogurt and some granola, which puts us pretty much about at 250 calories. Now, the Snickerdoodle, she's very enticing. It's giving eat me immediately. And then you have this Greek yogurt and granola, which is like she's cool or whatever. You can eat the cookie or you can eat the Greek yogurt. The thing is that neither choice is necessarily wrong because there is no right or wrong. It's about how you want to spend your calories, what's your calorie budget, and like how are you feeling. So if you eat this cookie, you're within your calorie deficit. It's going to be tasty. Yum. If you eat this Greek yogurt, maybe it's not as exciting as the cookie, but you know what? It's tasty. The granola will add something, and you're going to be within your calorie deficit. If you eat the cookie, you only just have one. So you'll eat it, you'll be happy for those 30 seconds before you devour it, and then that's it. And if that's what you're fine with, then it's totally fine. If you eat the yogurt, you're probably going to be a little bit more satiated because there's some protein. It's a little bit more fulfilling. That's going to be around like 22 grams of protein or something like that. So you could also eat that. You'll probably be more full, more satisfied, and you'll get some extra protein in. Again, not a bad option. If you're feeling like you want to have the cookie and it's going to be worth it to you, then eat the cookie. If you're feeling like, man, I do need some more protein today and I do want to feel a little bit more satiated, then you're going to eat the yogurt. But the thing is that you can have either one. Either one is fine. It's up to you. And so that's why I really want to stress like changing your mindset is really going to be helpful. That was so helpful to me. Instead of feeling like the food controlled me or this diet was controlling me, like, no, I'm in control. I have this budget of how I want to spend and what I want to eat, and I can move things around and be more creative because you're in control. Tip 4 is going to be cooking at home. This is super helpful just because this is pretty much the only time you can be pretty like 99% accurate about what your calories are that you're consuming, because you can measure everything. You can see how much put in there, how much seasoning, oil, this and that, and cheese and all that stuff. For most restaurants, you're not going to know that. You can guesstimate, and that's not to scare you from eating out. You definitely can work your way around there. You can just kind of generalize what you think. Some restaurants do have PDFs or include the calories or things like that, so you can see, but you'll never get the full list of other things if you're tracking for that. Like if you want to know how much fiber is in something, not that that's necessarily relevant per se to your deficit, but it's important to also just track other important things as well, just because we want to make sure we're consuming our bodies with great things all overall, just for other ways to help us, not just thinking about fat loss and weight loss and stuff like that. But yeah, cooking at home as much as possible during this time is going to be helpful, because like I said, you can control your serving size, your amount. You don't really know. Restaurants usually give larger portions, or you just will never know because you're not the one cooking it. One day being not so sure of where you stand with your calories is not going to ruin your progress completely. But if this is something that you do every single day, like you always eat out for lunch for work or something like that, that can kind of, get in the way. So if you go to work, I go to work every day, 9 to 5, then, bring your own lunch. I save money and I love to be in control of what I'm eating as well. And tip number 5 is going to be to, of course, increase your activity. This is going to be really helpful, of course, to help you stay in a deficit. So whether you go to the gym that day or not, try to just get some steps in, get moving, move your body around. So most times when I go to the gym, that's going to be the main time that I know that I'm burning lots of calories and stuff like that. I go to the gym 4 times a week. But even on top of that, and on days that I'm not going to the gym, the other 3, I try to just get some type of activity in, and that's usually for me just walking. So even at work, I will spend 30 minutes eating my lunch, and then I'll spend 30 minutes like going for a walk, maybe around like the campus or down the hall, back and forth. It's so funny because I see a woman who works at the front desk in my building. She has to stay at the front desk because she checks for badges and makes sure that everything is good security wise, but she just makes a square loop in her area because she's determined to get her steps in. And so shout out to that woman, because she's like, I'm not letting my job get in the way of my goals, period. So it doesn't matter. I live in Houston, Texas, and it's really hot. So I do go outside because I like to be in the heat. But if you don't want to come back all sweaty and whatever, then just try to find somewhere to walk inside. I find a shaded area and I just walk straight back and forth a few times and then come back inside before I hit a good sweat. But just anything to get your steps up. If it's weekends or you're not confined by work, then go and set up some hot girl walks with your friends. I've done that a few times now. We'll just meet up at the park, walk and talk, and man, you will not be surprised. You hit up 4 miles real quick, okay? Walking and talking with your friends, catching up. Not to mention, it's a free friendship hangout as well. So love that. And then, of course, there's other things. I've taken up pickleball, biking, whatever it is that you like. Those are fun activities that you can incorporate on top of already going to the gym, just to help you with more cushion with your deficit, because you're burning some more calories. And also for the walking pad girlies. I don't have a walking pad, but pending, I may get one, just because I feel like it can be so helpful to have indoors if you're working, or just put it in front of the TV. Rain or shine, you can get your steps in because there's no excuses. So definitely find what it is for you that you could add that will really be helpful. And some other tips that I just want to make sure to add in as a bonus. I hope it goes without saying, but I do want to make sure be patient with this. It is not going to be something that just happens right away, or something that may be super noticeable. Sometimes you think like nothing is happening, but your clothes will start fitting different, or you'll start to see the scale move eventually. I don't recommend weighing yourself every single day, but a few times a week and taking the average, and you'll slowly start to see this the more consistent that you are. Again, one day of being over a deficit or something like that is not going to ruin your progress. You just have to keep moving forward and just being positive and learning from your mistakes. Actually, just the other day, I had realized that I had been calculating a serving size for my pizza incorrectly. but it doesn't matter because now I know and I'll be better for the future. And it also didn't stop me from, losing 10 pounds. And so I know what it is I need to do moving forward. I can make better decisions. So just be patient. It's not going to happen overnight. But just take it as a learning experience. I honestly think that it's been kind of fun. Some days have been hard because I'm like, I don't want the one snickerdoodle. I want 6. But I also know that I have goals in mind, and I just want to let you know that I have been having the snickerdoodle, and I have been having the M&M cookie and the chocolate chip cookie on certain days. I've made sure that I still have the things that I want. I've had cheesecake on my deficit. I've had pizza, fun pizza, not the one that I make here. I've made it work, and you can too. Also, make sure you get enough sleep. Sleep is very important just for your body to reset, and it also helps with your hunger as well. If you are very deprived of sleep, there are so many other things that get dysregulated, and usually you're just going to end up eating more than you need to, and just being out of whack. So we don't want that either. Make sure you get your sleep and be kind to yourself. All right, y'all, that is the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed this and hopefully found it helpful. If you're going on your own deficit and have some of your own tips to share, definitely put them in the comments below so that we can share it with our community. I appreciate you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe. Also follow me on Instagram. I've been documenting foods I eat in a day, easy recipes, which I also will share on here as well. But if you do like quick form content and would like to, hang out with me over there, definitely go ahead and follow me. But I will see y'all next time. Thank you so much. Bye.